Here we go. We live. We live. Another Can We Keep It Real podcast. What's going on, everybody? Uncle Felix is in the house, man. What's up, Uncle Felix? How we doing today?
Not bad. How's it going, Mikey?
Another day, slow motion better than no motion.
This
You
is
know,
true.
a day through this realignment process. A lot of feelings came out today. The emails were came through quite a lot today. A lot of people upset about this alignment process having a four teams Division One, which we've been saying it's embarrassing for the state. It's embarrassing for football. What do you think? What are your thoughts when you first hear a four-team Division One?
Uh, um, Again, it's embarrassing. Um, I know we're the smallest state in the union. I know we only have what is it, like 43 teams or what it is. So I mean, just by looking at the numbers, you would figure each division should have about
Uncle Felix froze up. Maybe he'll be back. He should be back in a second. But it definitely is embarrassing to have a four-team division. I mean, they're probably you're back,
Can
Uncle
can
Felix.
yeah, I never left, but is it all right on your end?
Yeah, now it is. Now it is. You cut right out when you started going into it's embarrassing.
Well, well, yeah. So yeah, it's embarrassing. I mean, I know we're the smallest state in the union. We only have what 43 teams or something like that, and so just by looking at the numbers, you got to figure if you're gonna go with the four division idea, each division have roughly 10 teams. Not nobody should have four. You know what I mean? The only other thing I would support is if you want to put all the private schools in one division, because we get a lot of coaches who bitch about that. I'm fine with that, and make it a private school division. We have about what four, maybe five schools that would probably qualify as a private school division, but I don't even necessarily think that's necessary. Just go with the top 10 teams and make them Division One.
It's actually, that has been mentioned quite often. Maybe we should have a private school division. Would all the privates need to be on the same level? If you got one in Division Two, so I guess have a private league or a private division, just a division just for private schools.
Yeah, just a division with private schools. I mean, I'd be fine. I'd be fine with that. But I don't even think that's the best way. I think the best way is just put the top 10 teams. You know what I mean, and in Division One. That's the way it should go.
So you think Cumberland, Portsmouth, Cranston West, Woonsocket, SK, they should all be
All
in
those
D1.
schools, yeah, one socket should be up there. You even got to look at Mount Pleasant because I think when we looked at the enrollment earlier, weren't they number one? I think.
Yes, yes, they was actually. I got the enrollment over here.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know what
they're
I mean.
actually the biggest school. Yes, as far as enrollment, Mount
If
Pleasant
we're
is the
gonna go,
biggest school.
yeah, so if we're gonna go by enrollment and things like that, let's do it right. Let's start it off that way. You know, Let it be for a couple of years. I'm fine with realigning things every few years because you see how things are going and things like that. That's fine. But this whole, I mean, a division with four teams, we're doing too much now. That's insane.
No, that's definitely embarrassing. And with Cumberland starting at Division Two, which would be they're in number five, but we'll get to that in a minute. One comment just said, why are any of their players who are serious about playing college football going to want to stay at these schools now that they are a D2 school? I expect more kids to leave for those teams to complain even more about losing their talent. They are doing it to themselves. Now, I ask you, you're about to graduate your second kid, if
Hmm.
your kid was playing at one of these schools and they dropped down to a Division two, are you transferring?
Hmm. It would definitely be a conversation. A lot of things would come into play. I wouldn't be happy about dropping down to Division Two, um, but everything's relative because basically Division Two has just turned into Division One. You know what I mean? And the Division One is now a Power Four, and the people who really get screwed are the smaller schools. You know what I mean. Because Division 2 is now really Division 1. Division 3 is really now Division 2. You know what I mean. And it works itself all the way down. And like we went over the last time I was on the show. North Smithfield really got screwed over. You know what I mean. They should be in Division 4, and now they're in Division 3. Schools like West Warwick, they were looking to drop down to Division 3, which they did. But guess what? Division 3 is now your Division 2. So all the teams that they were looking to get away from, what I mean, are right there again. The whole thing is nonsense. And why? Because in my opinion, I feel that you have some coaches in in division in last year's Division 1 who feel that they can't compete with like a Hendricken or a LaSalle or obviously a Central or a NK. So they feel this is their best way to win a championship. And at the end of the day, this is not what the game is all about. It's not all about winning championships. It's about getting the kids prepared to play at the next level, or getting them just to be better, to compete, learn life lessons of football. You know what I mean? As long as you show up and you compete and you get better every week, the wins will take care of itself.
I mean, you talked about transparency, um, but it is very interesting to see that it is a four-team division. Lima and Cumberland were ranked five in the ranking system, right? Four-team Division 1 instead of a five or six-team division. How come we don't have a five or six team? And I wonder if this realignment, if Cumberland was in the top four, would we even be talking about this realignment? I mean, and not only that, Coach Lima could have opted in to Division 1 along with all them other Division 1 schools that are now opting
Yeah, I,
to
I was I
be in
was just gonna
Division
I was
One.
just gonna say that's a great point there. All these schools have the option to move up to Division 1, and I don't see I don't see a line forming anywhere. You know what I mean? So it seems like they're all okay with it, and you know if this is the case, why not just leave it the way it was with the power for, what I mean, like it was, last time. If the team loses in the first playoff game to the top two, they drop down and play for the Division 1 title. I mean, that was fine. I don't see the problem with that is, and from what I understand, they're saying, oh, they were saying there's too many championships. I guess that's only one more championship. I mean, we're a small state. You go from 4 to 5 champions. I mean, it's better than this debacle. I mean, this is a mess. It's embarrassing. You're gonna go around and, you know, I know when I'm on Max Preps, I like to look around at different states and see, who's in the division, the top division. Just out of curiosity. So someone's gonna click on Rhode Island and see that there's 4 teams there. You know what I mean? And pretty much everybody else is running scared. It's a shame.
No, definitely. And I did get a lot of duplicate emails. Basically, a lot of people had something to say after what happened yesterday. People saying that they called him out on multiple occasions, saying he just wanted to go win an easy championship. And I mean, you look at Classical. Let's go to Classical, right? The first time that the alignment came out, right, in
Mhm.
January. Now, if I pull right here, Lima went out today and he said that there was full transparency. He said, here's all the dates, all this other stuff, full transparency. Well, tell me, if you ask any of them kids on that Classical high school, and they're going to be, tell me why McCall told them last season that they were going into Division 3 this season. How do you know before the alignment even comes out that you are going into
Exactly. That
division? Ask any kid on Classical if that was said.
that's got to be one of the biggest crimes. You know, you I've never heard that before. You win the Division 2 state championship, and then you drop a division.
Gatorade Player of the Year 2 years in a row,
It doesn't make any sense.
and you
Doesn't
drop.
make,
And
doesn't
not
make
only that, now let's go back to full transparency. He says that when the first realignment came out, it was originally 4, 16, 14, 7, I believe. So right there, Classical falls in Division 2. But no, that don't work. The next realignment comes out in March. And
Yep.
guess what? Division 3 has 16 teams, which puts Classical in Division 3 and sets them up for a Division 3 state championship.
It's embarrassing. There's no other way I can say it, and it's a shame because actually I'm a big McCall fan. I think he's a great coach. I think he runs a great program there, and this it raises questions. And I love what you're doing and bringing attention to this, but I wish Eric DeRube over there at Providence Journal, who has a good platform, you would think he would get on this and stop making noise about this. But obviously he's sadly no, Mr. Week late. Is that what you call him? He's no
Mr. Week ago, Mr. Week ago. Well, he is. He's going to give him 5 or 6 days, anywhere from today to 5 or 6 days, right? And you're going to hear Eric Rube damage control. He's going to come out there. He's going to say, I'm crazy. He's going to say, I don't know what I'm talking about. He's going to say all this stuff, just like he did when I talked about the COVID games last season. He
hmm
does damage control. He'll be around in about a week. So give him about a week, up to a week, and he might say, he says a week, so I got to wait 7 days. But he'll be out there and he'll be trying to do damage control and say that this 4-team division is good for football.
Yeah, I don't know. He just seems like he's just gonna go along with whatever. I mean, I remember clearly him making a comment about how great RIL handled the whole COVID thing, which is anybody with common sense knew that whole thing was a disaster. But yet, he was writing articles on how great it was handled. So it is what it is. We need somebody on in that platform who's gonna, bring up the right question. Like this is something people should be talking about. You know what I mean? And it's sad that the newspaper of note, Providence Journal, is ignoring it.
He will be talking about it, but he's going to do damage control. He'll probably do it on his Instagram live stream, and then he'll probably write an article saying how good the alignment is and his picks. But if you look at the original realignment that was sent out in January, right? It
Mm,
was a 4-16-16-7. But wait a minute, that don't work out for Coach McCall. Classical in Division 2, they'll have to play Cumberland, Portsmouth, SK, and all them other former D1 schools.
yep.
We can't have that. The new proposal comes out March 11th. And guess what? Very similar, but it's a little bit different. Now it's 4-14-16-9,
hmm
where Classical ends up in Division 3. Nice to move down. Very interesting that I got to say that Coach McCall, respect to him, all full transparency, right? But he is on the Coaches Association board. He did move from D2 to D3. You win a state championship. If you wanted a bigger D4, you want to protect some of these programs. But I mean, you win a state championship, Gatorade Player of the Year. Is it because you lost a lot of your teams?
You know what? Rule number one should be if you win the state championship, you don't drop down a division. That should be the first rule when you're doing realignments.
No, that's a fact. I mean, you look at how they dropped down. It was just very interesting how this all played out. And here we go again, talking about transparency. My buddy Mr. Lima puts out an email today, all of a sudden, like, and I started getting, oh, he must have seen the podcast. He must have seen the podcast. So he puts out an email. It says, we're speaking to some members of the e-board. I wanted to send out a timeline of the realignment activities. This process began in December, but has been transparent throughout. Coaches have had multiple opportunities to express their thoughts, ideas, both during the meeting and in surveys, right? Now, these coaches for this realignment and the feedback was positive, right? Now, let me tell you about these surveys. You didn't have an option to put if you agreed with the alignment or disagreed. There wasn't a yes or no. They asked you certain questions. Do you like the division you're in? Do you want to drop down a division? Do you want to go up a division? They were very specific and they were very smart. And here is the survey right here. See, I'm
Mm.
bringing it all to the people's attention to see what is going on. Look, do we agree? We wish to move up. We wish to move down. Some people didn't even check anything because they were like, we do not like this alignment.
Mm-hmm.
We are not happy with this alignment. And of course, you know, Mr. Lima today is coming out with a timeline, but it's funny because it's funny how Classical knew last season that they were going to Division 3 this year. Oh, we lost a lot of players. So did Westerly.
Yeah, so did a lot of
So
schools.
did Pontigansett. Wesley was the 17. I know
North
they don't
Smith,
want me saying that.
North Smithfield, bunch of kids.
They're down to 14
Yeah,
as right now. I mean, yeah, they'll probably have 6 more to come in, but they have 14 right now. A lot of kids, and not every team has the ability to go to the e-board and say, we lose 17 kids, we're not going to be that good. So you tell me how Coach McCall, being on the board, knew at the end of last season he was going to Division 3. That's all easy questions. Answer me that.
no, you're absolutely right. People need to be held accountable, and this whole process needs to be. It's funny because you keep saying they're trying to be transparent, but obviously, it seems like there's some shenanigans going on.
You beat St. Ray's, you beat Westerly,
Mm-hmm.
Gatorade Player of the Year 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? For all that, go to D3. That's how it always works. When Charlie B-Ball won back to back, he went backwards, didn't he? Oh no,
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 he didn't.
nope. Yeah, it's it's so sad. It's not even funny. You know what I mean?
Guy over in Coventry don't
One
even
side
know what's
thing,
going
at
on.
the same time, it's disturbing.
The coach over in Coventry has no idea what's going on. It's actually sad that he has to find out from a podcast that his team went to Division 3. Like you can't even find out from your athletic director that your team went to Division 3. You
Yeah,
got to find out on a podcast.
no words. There's no words. It's unbelievable what's going on.
You know what I mean, and this comment says, the one that said all the stuff about classical. This is a comment that came in. It said, smaller teams, they could have made a 4-16, 14-9 and kept Classical in D2. Classical should definitely not be a D3 team, especially after winning the D2 championship last year, beating Westerly, beating St. Ray's, who are both in the new D2, having back-to-back Gatorade Players of the Year. Definitely seems like an inside job to keep in a comfy spot and make sure they have an easy path to a D3 championship. It's funny because it really sets Cumberland and Shea up and Tolman and Classical up. Now, I haven't heard nothing about, because I know Coach DeLawrence is on the board. Haven't heard nothing about Coach DeLawrence in any of this talk.
Mm-hmm.
All the talk, they talk about Lima, they talk about Coach McCall.
I mean, I don't know. All I can say in my head, this is it's ridiculous, and hopefully, I don't even know if there's any recourse that can be taken. Right? You said this is the final. This is the final alignment.
They said this, yeah, they said that this is the final alignment, but I mean, they should go back and just, you know what, let's change it. I heard Monday there was a rumor of them changing it and going to a 10 game or a 10 some doing a power division, a power one like they did last year, and having a bigger division 1, but that ended up falling through. So as of right now, this looks the way that it could possibly end up, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. But yeah, I mean, they should at least do it like it was a few years ago. You know what I mean? Like I said, that wasn't ideal, but it's better than this mess. You know what I mean? Give more teams, put more teams in Division 1. You actually keep the Power Four. You know what I mean? But give Division 1 teams a chance to fight for that state championship because, as we all know, a few years ago, NK got screwed out of playing for the state championship 2 years in a row because of the nonsense RIIL was doing. They tried to fix that, but it was a couple of years too late for NK. You know what I mean? They're always tinkering with this thing, and they're always it always seems to be wrong.
Well, speaking of NK, Coach Dempsey, it was kind of funny because last night I'm doing the podcast and I'm actually going in and I'm saying that NK could have prevented this. They could have done something about it. And all of a sudden, here comes Coach Fran Dempsey jumping in the comment section. I'm like, whoa. And he's blasting off shots. He's saying, I tried to do something. I tried to stop it. I tried to do this. Nobody wanted to play the three-headed monster, North Kingston, Hendricken, and LaSalle. I mean, he left quite a few comments, and he has been watching the last couple of months from afar, like a lot of people are watching from afar the podcast,
Mhm.
and he was just like oblivious. People don't want to take responsibility for this alignment is what's coming down, and that's why you seen that email come out today with Mr. Lima putting this out. You know what this is? This is trying to cover your steps. This is trying to take accountability. I think Felix froze. I don't think he fell asleep. Um, this is trying to take accountability. Your eyes are just closed on the screen. I don't think he fell asleep. This is him trying to cover up what's going on, but nothing makes sense. If you look at the way that these divisions fell in place, you want to go with a 4, 16, 14, 9. You wanted to have a 7 division 4, a 9 division 4. And then all of a sudden it's fitting your narrative to stay with 4 because all you older coaches get away from North Kingston, you get away from Hendricken, you get away from LaSalle, and you go play you go to Division 2, respect to Division 2. Poor Mount Pleasant looks like a D1 sandwich over there. Everyone else in that whole division split, and all playoff teams go to Division 3 too. That's the other thing. Out of a lot of playoff teams from Division 2 went to Division 3.
Yeah, it's a chain reaction that just goes all the way down, and it's awful. There's nothing else you could say about it. And I don't understand how they thought this was a good idea. I would have loved to be a fly in the room, just to hear the conversation of how this all went down. I mean, I find it hard to believe that no coaches stood up and said, you guys serious? That this doesn't make any sense.
No, exactly. I basically received an email that talked about, I sat down with the AD and we voted about the realignment. And they actually sent me a picture of the survey on and said there was no place to vote against the alignment. And other coaches that will speak up will tell you there was no place to vote against the alignment. So they're saying that all these coaches voted against the alignment. There was no place to vote against the alignment. There was, do you agree with your placement? Do you want to go up a division or do you want to go down a division? There was not a question asking if you was in favor for this alignment or if you was against this alignment. You had schools like the obvious ones, NK, Pilgrim, North Smithfield, Wesley, that were definitely, and then you had others that were pushing for the D1 schools that are now in the new D2 and don't want
Hmm.
to play against the Power Four. And then you got schools that really didn't care and they just voted yes to whatever they put down. The survey was created so you couldn't say yes or no.
You know what this is going to be like. Do you remember a couple of years ago, where every team that moved down ended up winning winning the Super Bowl?
Yes, yes. That was the Barrington effect. That
Yeah.
was Sandy Gorham. I kind of do a little skit. I'm like, we can't compete in D1, but we don't want to be called D2. That's the Sandy Gorham effect. Salute to
Yeah.
Sandy Gorham. I mean, he's been around a long time, but he did cry his way to Division 2. We can't lie.
So we're probably going to see the same thing happen here. You know what I mean? Where everybody that moves down is going to be fighting for a championship. And I guess unfortunately that's what's going to make them happy. I don't get it. Like it's should be wanting to put to be the best. You got to beat the best. That's the way the mentality should be. Um, I don't know. It's a black eye for Rhode Island football in my opinion.
Then, of course, people are going to stop pointing fingers at the only two public schools in Division 1 eventually, saying, oh, it's your fault, your fault, your fault. But it is a black eye. It's, um, it's pretty horrible. Them saying everyone voted against it is the funniest thing because I am gonna put up on my Facebook page. I'm gonna put the proposal. People are like, "Oh, you're lying. You don't know what you're talking about. The alignment ain't based like that." Like I already explained to people how the formula works. I had the formula on. It's actually on my Facebook page how the formula
Yeah,
actually works. I think I sent you a copy of the formula.
yeah, yeah.
Well, but it's just crazy the way that this is all going on.
Totally agree.
And look, no BS. McCall did tell the kids at the very end of last season they were going down to Division 3. I knew this was going. I knew they were going down. I would have told you. His JV is not that good right now. I mean, so that was somebody that just commented about what we was already talking about Classical knew they were going to Division 3 the end of last season. And that's why I said you can ask any of them kids that was on that program if that was talked about. Easy.
Yeah. No, yeah, and it's unfortunate because not everybody has that luxury. You know what I mean, to move up and down as they please. And ever since I played myself in high school, classical has been they've been all over the map when it comes to divisions. You know what I mean? They used to be in Division 4 years ago. You know what I mean? And they bounced around all over the place. The argument can be made that that's a Division 1 school just because it's as close to a private school as you're gonna get in the right? They can draw from anybody in the city of Providence, which is by far, the biggest in the state.
Felix is sounding a little bit like a robot right now. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you kind of was breaking in and out, sounding a little bit like a robot, but
How does it sound now?
it sounds better. It sounds better. Yeah, Classical always been there in the conversation. I mean, salute to Coach McCall as I'm tearing him down. I definitely gotta. I mean, he does send guys to college. So I think he's got a guy in Rutgers. He's got a guy here. He's got a guy there. He sends guys to college, but
He does a great job with that program, but at the same time, you got to call out the bullshit. So
and I
it
mean,
is
who
what
out
it is.
there listens, or even if we share, who thinks that Classical, Mount Hope, and Rogers all should be ranked? What is it, 18, 19 to 20th? Who thinks Mount Hope and Rogers is ranked up there with Classical? I mean, do people really think that is happening? And you know, and like I said about Lima, he could have opted up to the Division 1 at any time, but he didn't, and neither did any other Division 1 coach. They could have did that. And me as a man, how do I look my kids in the face and tell
Yeah,
them that I didn't think you guys were good enough to compete in D1, and now we're kind of in D2 now.
yeah, no, exactly, exactly. That's going to be an interesting conversation this summer when the teams meet up for practice.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, and you look and like somebody said, interesting that Cumberland and Lima were ranked number 5 in the ranking system. And I know he's done a lot for his program and his town's gonna back him up. But if we did have a Division 4, a 4 team Division 1 instead of 5 or 6 teams, I wonder if we would be having this realignment. If we would even be talking about 4 teams if Cumberland was ranked 4. Everyone knows Lima didn't want no part of Division 1, and he used his influences being president to get out of there.
If that's the case, which that's what it looks like, he, he should be embarrassed.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they even say like, oh, then more people should be on these boards. I know 5 or 6 coaches that attempted to send Lima an email. Oh, I want to be on the board. Oh no, you haven't been around long enough. You got to be coaching longer than dirt's been around.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. When you do realignments, you're not going to please everybody. That's a given. but it's totally it's totally screwed up. There's no way there should be a 4 team division. There's no way, and there's you know like I said, there's 40 some odd teams, put 10 teams in a division. That's the way. That's the way it should be.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just there should at least be 8 in a friggin' division.
At least, at least. But the average has got to be, you know, 10, and 10 teams a division when you have 40 teams. There's no 4 teams, even 6 teams is too small. You know what I mean? Maybe you can get away with 8. You know what I mean? Have a couple of 12 team divisions. That's fine. You know what I mean? But 4. I mean, it's absurd.
I mean, again, for the people that are just joining us, March 11th, we have another alignment. We had one back in January. They want to do 4, 14, 16, 9. And like I said, very interesting about D2 going to D3. You got Costco going down. McCall's on the board. I mean, I'm calling these guys out because it's just so suspect how this all went down.
Very.
Oh, but Uncle Felix, man, what else is going on? How is everything?
Not bad. Getting over. I had like some flu-like symptoms earlier this week. Feeling much better today, but still not 100%, but getting there.
I'm gonna actually bring up and show you guys for people that wasn't on yesterday. I want to show you guys um what each division is gonna come down to. Who's gonna be in what division? Um, so
Hey,
here,
Cecilia, go ahead.
okay, Thursday, August 15th. Here we go. You're gonna have Bishop, Hendrick, and LaSalle Central and NK in Division One. And then here we go to 2. See, here's where Cumberland was in 5th. Cumberland, Portsmouth, SK, Burrville, Barrington, Cranston West, Shea. Actually, you know what? I think this is one of the older because Mount Pleasant should be. Oh yeah, no, Mount Pleasant is on this side now. It's on the A side. This must be one of the old ones. Let me see. Hang on a minute. Go back here and look. Wait a minute. Yeah, because Mount Pleasant is actually on the they're on a side with all the D1 teams. I was like, "Oh my goodness." There we go. There
Hey,
we
in my opinion, they should be up in D1 anyway. So
Yeah, so hang on a minute, guys. I'm gonna get you the
it's funny because Mount Pleasant, when I was coaching with West in North Smithfield, they were in Division 4. You know what I mean? And here they are with the the largest enrollment in the state.
these are actually the field hockey ones we're looking. All right, here we go. Football realignment. They're still calling this a proposal, actually,
Hopefully,
which is kind of funny, but
hopefully they come to their senses.
now this right here is how the formula breaks down. In case people were curious how the formula works, this is how what you're looking at now is how the formula actually breaks down. They got the realignment formula after this year, and it shows all the file and ranking, total weights, win percentage, over a 6 year span. So they go back 6 years, and then 2 year wins percentage data. Did you have a chance to look at any of this today, Felix?
I did. My phone's been acting up, and I know you sent it to me via text messages, and so I had it, and then it disappeared actually. But I did look. Was able to look through it.
See if I could do this. I might be able to. Is that getting bigger on your screen? Let's see. All right, there we go. Hang on. Get down. All right, right here it says Division One will include no less than the top 4 teams by rank. No non-league games to open the season. I is that would that mean that the 2 private school games that are going to be out of state would they be are they still allowed to go on because it says no non-league games to open the season That's I'm not sure. We'll just definitely have to check on that. Play 3 league games versus every team within the division once. Play 4 crossover league games assigned versus teams in Division Two. So yeah, I mean, you still got to play some of these teams, but you're not
Yeah.
gonna have to
But
play
what's
them, I
but
guess.
what's going to happen? All right, and I know I've said this before on this show, is you're going to get a team. Let's say Hendricken, for example, draws Cumberland. Okay, and I'm picking on Cumberland because I know they did this just last year. I think it was or no, the year 2 years ago. It was during the COVID season. We played them in a crossover game. The game didn't mean anything for them, and so they pretty much um, ran dives the whole game. You know what I mean? It was embarrassing. They would run 3 plays up the middle and punt, 3 plays up the middle and punt, and they did that. They did that basically the entire game. They were just looking to get out of the game, and you might see something like that happen. You know what I mean, in these crossover games if it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely gonna get interesting. They lose their little fast running back that was over there. What was his name? Cam Pedro.
Dro, yeah, yep. He
He'll
was
be going on to college. We
he was a
can't talk about that right now, but he'll be going on to college. We'll hear about that pretty soon. Congratulations to Cam Pedro. Uh, so here we go. You're gonna have Cumberland, Burrillville, Cranston West, East Greenwich, St. Ray's, Mount Pleasant, and East Providence.
mhm.
How about that?
I like the echo.
Oh, I got a whole new setup here, man. I could do beep. I could do the hot takes, the samples. It's all still work figuring out how to use it. Change voices. It's crazy, crazy, crazy.
Nice.
Very, very crazy. But yeah. So you're gonna have Cumberland, Burrillville, which Burrillville, Coach Ferraro, one that wanted the 4 team division, of course, because it worked. All these teams, Cranston West, they were all duck and smoke. I say that respectfully because I love Coach Ferraro. E.G., Coach George, St. Ray's. I mean, he was already ducking. He's been here for 2 years in the witness protection program. So over there, him and Sandy Gorham, they hiding out in Division Two. And see, the rest of the division sent Sandy Gorham and Coach Sasso to Division Two to see how it was. Go down there and check it out. And then they were like, "Come on, guys, we'll have a blast." And then all of a sudden, here came the entire damn division. Here came everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And people have the narrative twisted because some of these coaches are like, "Oh, there was nothing we can do," but all these teams could have
They
opted to
all opted and
go
go on to
up.
play Division 1. You know what I mean? And
You
that
could have opted.
yeah. St. Ray's belongs in Division 1.
I
How many
love
years
that. People
how
say,
many
"I
years
don't know what I'm talking about."
how many years they're gonna go undefeated in Division 2 and stay there?
Hey, they can't get it done at the end though.
I guess
They
so.
cannot finish it at the end. They get to that championship game, and usually 2 games before that, they start getting hurt. One game after that West Warwick game, they started like West Warwick. St. Ray's won big, but I think West Warwick gave them, pretty much was really rough with them because after that West Warwick game, St. Ray's their wheels started falling off. And they got to Costco High School and the car was bellied.
Yeah, that's too
You
I mean
know, and Costco wins the championship, and hey, they go to Division Three. And not to mention, the year before, Costco was right there. Weren't they in the running for the D3 Super Bowl as well?
I
They
bel
were right there with Johnston High School,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Coventry.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's more reason to put them in D3. Shit, if they win again, they're gonna be in D4.
Yeah. Why not? It makes as much sense.
You win a Super Bowl, you go backwards.
Yeah, and meanwhile they'll toss North Smithfield up to Division 2.
That's like Nicky and Goodfellas making side deals. Yeah, it's just totally crazy. So Barville, Cranston West, EG, Mount Pleasant stuck in the middle of all of these teams. That's unfortunate for Coach Addison, man. What did he do? What do we do to be punished like this? And then on the other side,
South
Portsmouth SK.
Kingston, Barrington, Shea, Woonsocket, Westerly, and Cranston East. That looks like that's that's terrible.
Yes, that's definitely terrible because it looks like that these D1 teams, they want to avoid Central, they want to avoid NK, they want to avoid LaSalle and Hendricken. They want
Hmm.
to win a championship, but they want it the easy way. And it's like there's no other way. I said something yesterday on the show, read between the lines, and I got emails from coaches and they kept saying, read between the lines. You're absolutely right. What are you not seeing? Like everything I've read today was basically comments from emails from coaches
Well,
that are
here's
saying,
my here's my proposal. We make 21 divisions, and everybody goes to the Super Bowl.
there you go. We figured it out. I
So
gotta get a gavel. I need a gavel.
everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. Everybody be a Super Bowl winner. The only thing is, over at Coventry, I don't know if the AD's office is big enough to put all them Super Bowl trophies in his office because he sure don't put them in the damn showcase. But that's another shot at Coventry because you know what's the crazy thing? And you wonder why football is so behind, right? I heard a couple weeks ago Coventry has, they usually have give me one second. You know how schools usually have, they'll have a day where the eighth graders can come up to the high school for,
Yep.
they could see what's going on. They had every extracurricular activity for kids to sign up for except for football. There was no sign up sheet for football.
What was the reason for that?
Oh, of course. I mean, there isn't no reason. There's just, the guy over, I don't know what that issue is, but like I feel bad for the coach over there. Like half the time, like you got to find out on a podcast that you're going to Division 3.
That's terrible. Terrible.
That's how you really have to find out that you are going to Division 3. And I want to take this time right now to mention my guy Wes Pennington. And guess what? Enough money was raised to send 100 books to the ACI for the inmates to have something to read, what barbecue can teach you about how God prepares a man. So, congratulations, Coach Pennington. I'm glad the inmates up the ACI are going to have some good reading material, but they was able to send 100 books up to
That's
the
all.
ACI. So,
A great.
congratulations.
It's a great read. I read that entire book in one day, a few hours. It's a great read. Wes did a great job.
A friend of mine bought the book and he said he has more questions. He wants to talk to Wes now.
That's good.
And shout out my man Clinton. He's out in North Carolina. Yep. He said he wants to talk to Wes about it. And so I was like, excellent, man. Great, great, great. Let me get back over here to where we were on the how do I get this back up in here? Hang on. Here we go. We back. Portsmouth SK, Barrington, Shea, Woonsocket, Westerly, Cranston East. I mean, these divisions are wide open. Division 2 is stacked. Like there are some teams. I mean, SK, it's always the same thing. Their coach is like one dimensional. He runs 5 or 6 plays and he wants to do everything himself. He had the same problem. I think he was the guy that was in Coventry, right? Zarella, Zarella. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. He wants to do everything himself. Shea, we don't know if Dino's going to come back because I heard there's a possibility that Coach Dino Camp might be able to come back, but we know Mike Murray's not on the team anymore, so they might have a coaching change.
Yep.
Woonsocket, shout out Coach B-Ball back to back, championships before the age of 30. Um, you got Coach Dunbar, which Coach Dunbar is going to DC this weekend. Breakthrough Elite has been traveling pretty much everywhere, man. Shout out to Coach Dunbar. I think I even had a little clip here.
Nice.
I'm always
Does a
following
great
you,
job
man.
with
I
that.
know you out in Westerly, so we kind of stay close. So I'm seeing everything you're doing. I'm seeing the voice sports stuff, and how they're kind of reaching really the nation. They're doing stuff all over the country. So if there's
Yeah.
anybody voice sports that wants to tap into to this market in Rhode Island and New England, trying to expand a little bit, definitely hit me up and you can get my info from Mikey.
Shout out what Breakthrough's doing. So first they went to Vegas. They came back from Vegas, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they went to Atlanta. Because I was trying to get them a field down there. They went to Atlanta. They came back. They went to Delaware last weekend, and now they're getting ready to take off this weekend to go to Washington, D.C. I think they went 5-1 last weekend. So
Oh,
congratulations to Breakthrough. Out there balling. I mean, Moses Muse is over there. You got Eddie Beulah. You got Dean. You got Jake. You got all the best. You got so many great kids throughout Rhode Island. All the great players are on Breakthrough right now.
nice.
They traveling nice. Maybe maybe Sincere can get some Breakthrough time, but before he's finished, he's old enough. We still got time. But shout out to Breakthrough.
Yep.
It looks like, please, man, cost me enough. And over here it says, I wonder if it says D2 cannot play non-league games. D2 will be scheduled up to one non-league game versus a D1 team. No. Okay, so we go to D3. What we've been talking about, classical, all that stuff. How they end up in D3, I don't know. Maybe the Magic Genie came to him last year and told him. Tolman, Coach DeLawrence, another, I'm so confused how these rankings went because I don't know how Tolman ended up in D3 either. They were in the playoffs the last 4 years.
Yep.
Coach
Yep.
DeLawrence, I mean, shout out to him. Great coach.
A lot of common sense was thrown out the window when they came up with this thing.
And I know Coach DeLawrence, he's on the board too, but that's one name I have not heard really anything really about Coach DeLawrence and what's going on with this realignment as much as I heard Chris McCall, Josh Lima's little midget ass. But yeah, I haven't really heard much about that. And then you got Coventry going just won a championship 2 years ago in Division 3, comes to Division 2. They make the playoffs. They lose the classical. And they go back to Division 3. Go figure. I don't know. You got Charahoe that goes to the championship game. They're going to stick around in 3. New coaching staff. Their coach resigned to go to Worcester State as a running back coach. So we'll see what's going on with them. Middletown. And something happened with the Middletown Narragansett. That got swapped. One of them things got swapped. Lincoln, North Smithfield can't catch a break, man. Like, the success of Coach Pennington a couple years ago is haunting this program.
Really is. Really is.
Coach Pennington's like, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that one. But the success of his program in 50 years, North Smithfield, I looked this up. In 50 years, North Smithfield in the lowest division won 3 playoff games. In 50 years. And they're being crucified for it now.
Yes, they are.
They're being crucified. Now they can't even catch a break. Like they can't get down to the other division.
Like we spoke about before, especially with them, it's a safety issue. You know what I mean? The 14 kids on the roster. You know what I mean? They're going to be playing, potentially playing Tolman, who's going to have about 80 kids on the roster. That's insane.
Tolman, Tollgate, Lincoln, Middletown, and that's only half of the division. It's gonna be, that's who they're gonna play, and it does get snaked. They gotta wrap that snake around like whoever's neck that came up with this. Moses Brown, good quarterback last year. I don't know if he graduated. A lot of quarterbacks graduated last year. Mount Hope.
Yeah, he graduated.
As far as the ranking, Mount Hope is just as good as classical.
Apparently.
You know what I mean? They're only ranked like one apart. West Warwick. Now here's the I want to say oh my god, I almost want to curse. Here's the problem here with West Warwick. They go down to Division 3, which West Warwick I don't think has been out of Division 2 for a long time. They are historical football program right there. Let me say that. Respect to them.
Yeah.
You know, they finally get out of 2 to try to get winning back into their community. And look at this thing. It's like a D2.5.
No, yeah, moving down to 3 didn't help them at all because, like I said, Division 3 is now the new Division 2. Big chain reaction, thanks to the screw up of the whoever made up this alignment.
Oh, I'm blaming. I don't care like what that guy says, man. You know, and the next time, and I said this yesterday, the next time you guys go to vote for a new president, if you let this ride again, if you say I nominate this guy and someone says I second the nomination, like happened last time, it's your own fault. You deserve
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
get
mean,
what you get what you vote for.
like 20. I think it was. They said yesterday how many votes there was, but if all these coaches are saying no, we were against it, then how did it pass with 25 damn votes supposedly? But um, yeah, it's just Pilgrim, West Warwick. West Warwick's gonna be playing Pilgrim, Narragansett, Rogers, Johnston, Ponagansett. Um, Felix, you know what I heard? I heard. Speaking of Ponagansett, that Ponagansett begged to go to 3 because they didn't want smoke with my boys up at Situate.
I'm sure that was the case.
They didn't want smoke. That's right. Teams better stop running. Shout out my man Eddie up there doing his thing. Yeah, I mean, got the kids in the weight room.
I like it.
That's what I'm saying. There's a new team in Division 4. We're over here talking about Division 3, and Situate just bust through the whole division and said, "Yo, Ponagansett running. They running." Felix, what you think
Love it.
about that?
I think he may be onto something.
See, watch out, Cook. Here they come. Shout out to both them programs up there in Situate. Shout out to Coach Eddie. Shout out to the whole program up there. You know what? I want to take this time to say congratulations to Coach Eddie Harrison, becoming one of the new coaches up at Situate High School. Eddie Harrison runs one of the youth training programs up in that area and does very good with the young kids. So I think that's a good addition to Situate High School. So congratulations to Coach Eddie Harrison. Do you know Coach Eddie?
No, name sounds familiar, but no, I can't say I do.
Learn it. Remember it. Shout out Coach, my man, Coach Eddie Harrison up there. And shout out, West Warwick Steelers in the house, man. West Warwick Steelers, I got to make the work, but they helping out the podcast. They actually sponsoring. They got a game coming up. Coach Najee is over there as the coach. Shout out to Coach Najee.
Best uniforms in the state.
Yes. Why? Because it's related to the Steelers. But shout out Coach Najee.
Yes,
He's got a big game coming up pretty soon. But shout out to the West Warwick Steelers. We're gonna have their information up here very soon. And Felix said they got the best unis in the state.
hands down.
So Johnston requested to go down, but they got denied. They say that no, sir. I heard another college lost a coach today. Was it Bentley?
Oh yeah.
Yep. So now we have what? Curry. Curry's coach quit a day before practice. He said, "I'm out of here." He said, "I'm checking out."
Jeez.
And now Bentley loses a coach. What's going on with the college ranks, man? But here we go. Division 3 will be snaked into 2 subs by the sports committee after the survey of school. Yeah, the survey that didn't really give you no options to be a survey. What kind of survey don't give you options? So here we go. Division 4, 9 teams, what everybody wanted. I don't know. A lot of people are saying that D4 all voted to have a D4 team. But I heard from some D4 programs that said that they did not want 4 teams in Division 1. But we have North Providence with a brand new coaching staff. After Coach Williams been there a long time, he hands it over to one of his assistants,
Hmm.
Juanita Sanchez. You know, they done very good last season. They had some pretty decent games. They had some ballers. Central Falls, Blackstone Valley Prep. They have a hard time hanging in there.
Yeah, it's a shame. I played there in high school football, and I would love to see that program turn around.
Then you have Hope High School, which I know someone that's working with some of the Hope High School kids. Shout out to 401 Strength and Fitness. I don't know if I was even supposed to say that, but I think that was like he's like, don't tell no one I told you this. I'm not sure, but so don't tell anybody. But shout out to Hope High School. EWG. Here is a shout out to EWG. But this is a program that is seriously having issues. There's been drama over there ever since they announced Coach Fortin was out of there. I mean, kids not getting along, kids sending messages out, I want out of here, kids having fights in the locker room.
Jeez.
The Twitter page is go over there, everyone, and check out EWG Proud Twitter page. I mean, going nuts. But hopefully EWG Prout can straighten it out. I hope they bring in a good coach that can get that program turned around because there's still some good ball players left over at EWG Prout football, Felix.
Yeah, yeah, it's too bad. Hopefully they get their act together there.
Smithfield High School, they started off very well. They had the runner that made Rhode Island ranked top 3. He too, I think his name was.
Yeah, he made it for a few weeks in a row actually, and then they had some COVID issues and all that stuff. But yeah, he was a talented runner.
And they say we don't talk about D4 enough. See?
Oh, jeez.
D4 love right now. Davies, Coach Cabral, shout out to him. Somebody that every year took the program and advanced each year. It
Yeah,
reminds me when you had the luck guy at Indy until they ripped his perforated his stomach.
I heard they're trying to get him back.
A lot of people crying in Cumberland right now. I bet they are. I put a post up on one of their pages, and I don't know if you were listening earlier, Eddie, and I basically said, you know what, like it is what it is. Lima friggin', he ducked this, he caused this. If he was in fourth, would we be talking about this? Go back and listen. I'm glad. I mean, I'm not glad they're crying, but Lima gets everything coming to him, man. I'm sure that's a great, great program, but here's a guy that manipulated the process to make it work in his favor. My opinion. Anyway, and then we have Tiverton and Situate Tiverton. We have the youngest coach now in football. Mikey Washington was the youngest coach for 26 hours after we lost the Charahoe coach. So now we got the youngest coach in Coach Sheridan up in Tiverton. Do you know Coach Sheridan?
I do not. I know that team is very young. Their starting quarterback last year was a freshman. It wasn't that bad either. So they're probably going to be a problem if not this year, maybe next year.
Speaking of Situate, I actually heard, and no BS, but I heard that they will have one of the better quarterbacks in high school football these
Oh,
next
nice.
couple of seasons, and I think the kid made your
Situate
top
won all
3,
that smoke. I'm sorry.
and I think he made your top 3 one of the weeks. The kid, what's his name?
He
Wolf.
did actually. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I do remember that. He had a big game. I forget the numbers, but yeah, I do remember that they did have their quarterback make a top 3, which is not it's not easy to do in Rhode Island ranked. There's 43 teams out there, so if you're making a top 3 appearance in my Rhode Island ranked page, and you had one hell of a week.
Oh yeah, nah, definitely. And check back during the season. We'll have Uncle Felix on every Thursday night. Was it Thursday we were doing it, right? Yeah. I think
Yeah,
it
sounds good.
was Thursday night. Every Thursday night, we go over, he does the top 3. He's over on Instagram, so you can get over there. If your coach don't do the stats, you better tell him we want to be on Rhode Island ranked. do the stats because last year we only had 17 teams that were doing stats, and a
That's
lot of
right.
kids get left
Uncalled
out.
for. Uncalled for.
That's right. So interscholastic, and you know what? And so I think Emerson mentioned last night because Emerson, when he heard about this, he was fired up. He was like, I got something I gotta say. But before that, everybody
Yeah.
invited to this, the Fed Hill 16th annual cookout. Felix, this is in your area, Lincoln Woods, May 29th. This been going on for 16 years. They've been having this. There's bouncy houses. There's free popcorn, cotton candy for the kids. DJs, barbers are gonna be there, and a best dish contest. Winner takes home $100 for the best dish. And if you go to the Fed Hill Cookout page and you register to win, you can get a limo ride courtesy of, where are they? They're right here. Courtesy of Potty Rock Limousine and DJ service. So definitely go over there. Yeah, definitely. It's going to be the Fed Hill Memorial Day Cookout, May 29th. Definitely go over there. In 16 years, there hasn't been one argument. The lowlifes come down from New York. That's a big organization. The Rough Riders come down. They have a great time. Block Royal, Fed Hill. Shout out to Candyland Inflatables, but definitely a great time. So there you have it, Situate. I basically let you guys know of everybody that's going to be in these new alignments. I think it's kind of horrible to have 4 teams. So, and a lot of other people do too, man. I wish I could release some of these damn emails, but maybe soon. We'll see. But there's a lot of people that are not happy with what's going on.
As they should be. They should be all pissed. So we'll see. Hopefully somebody comes to their senses.
I hope so. I hope there's time to turn around because we shouldn't have a 4-team alignment. And I know people are mad at me. I was reading some of the comments, and it's only up in Cumberland, and usually that's all. I mean, so I expected that, and that's why I went over there, and I posted that, and all I really posted was that if you want to know why your team is in Division 2, this is why. Your coach had a chance to opt out, to opt into Division 1, but he refused to do so. He went for easy win, and if he's 5th in the league, there's a reason why there's only a 4-team Division 1. Go ahead, tell me. Make sense of this, people. I don't care. If you make sense of this, I'll say Coach Lima is the best thing since sliced bread and water. Yeah, no, but all right, Felix, man. Before we go, I'll play this quick video, but oh, hang on. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. Can I am babies 43? Love it. Yeah, he's saying because Situate's ranked 43rd. Imagine that though. They beat Tiverton, they beat Hope, and they're still ranked last. But I know no respect. But we know that Pono moved out of the area code and they went to Division 3 because they didn't want that smoke. But before I go, we'll play this. Wins. Not everybody. The older coaches. They want to cry. They want to go to these RIIL meetings, and they want to cry. We're not competitive. We can't do this. I can't be in. What are we doing here?
Oh, he wilding right now.
Stay out here. Rhode Island, stand up, man. I'm trying to put on for my city.
Football in Rhode Island, bro.
I'm trying to put on for my city, man.
Be honest with you, I'm pissed off.
D1, but I don't want to be called D2.
Getting things correct in the most timely manner possible.
But we're never going to win a championship. Oh, has some winners, has some losers.
So don't try to mislead these listeners.
It was ugly. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get in trouble, but it was probably one of the ugliest games I've ever seen.
This is why people need to make noise, bring this to the light, so these people can be exposed and be embarrassed. I think they should be embarrassed.
And what we can do to fix it.
Because you like the person. Oh, That's my dog.
But he told me not to tell anybody. So.
But boy, the repercussions.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, it's not.
I love that kid at the end.
Oh man, shot out, man. That was awesome, man. But hi, Uncle Felix, man. What do you got going on this week? Anything?
No, nothing really. Just hopefully looking to get better.
Yeah, always looking to get better. So is this damn alignment.
We'll be keeping an eye out on that, that's for sure.
So is this damn alignment, man. But shout out to the next guy that's gonna be the next association president. God knows we need him. And enough of this crazy stuff. But we're gonna be back with more coming up. All right, Uncle Felix, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you for having me, and God bless.
Oh, definitely.
When I drop you off, you never see your father. Saw 48 hours of the week. It's not enough for us to speak. It's not enough for me to teach. I want to hug you. You're out of reach. You're so far away. I just want you here with me. Just know this wasn't up to me. Driving from your mama crib, I find it hard to breathe. Hard to tell you what I mean, but I never want to leave. There's things I must protect you from. I only can 2 days out the week.
Nerves with butterflies in your stomach, don't try to intimidate me. You couldn't scare me with lip. I'm spontaneous, more dangerous, fancy and quick. My trainer told me to work, he ain't prepared me to quit. I'm the only captain who's sailing this championship.
Get ready, it's coming. You hunting or you running? Get ready, get ready, get ready, ready.
Oh my goodness, every GM needs that.
Oh, that's the play of the night so far for Miami.
Let's go, come take a ride through my city life. See what my city's like. It's the city life, for some it's a shitty life. This is city living, mostly them city children. From my bedroom, see the lights of them city buildings. Ain't gotta act hard, private's my backyard. I run road out, you can call me a track star. And we a team, homie, all is one. I don't sleep until all is done. I ain't rucking.